वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय। 105.
Mama
जय सुत हनुमान की जय। श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय।
Page 51. ॐ 94. एक बार मोहन मारे मंदिरे आवो रे।
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 मारे मंदिरे आवो मारा वाला।
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 मारा अंगनीय शोभावो रे।
मारा अंगनीय शोभावो रे।
एक बार मोहन मारे मंदिरे आवो रे।
एक बार मोहन मारे मंदिरे आवो रे।
मायानी मूडीમાં એક રામ નામ છે।
માયાની મૂડીમાં એક રામ નામ છે।
માયાની મૂડીમાં એક રામ નામ છે।
માયાની મૂડીમાં એક રામ નામ છે।
બીજી વસ્તુનો અભાવો રે।
બીજી વસ્તુનો અભાવો રે।
એક વાર મોહન મારે મંદિરે આવો રે।
એક બાર મોહન મારે મંદિરે આવો રે।
નાની સે ઝૂંપડીને મન મારા મોટરા।
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 માતે સંકોચ લગાવો રે।
માથે સંકોચ ન લાવો રે।
એક વાર મોહન મારે મંદિરે આવો રે।
એક વાર મોહન મારે મંદિરે આવો રે।
શંકર કહે પ્રભુ પ્રેમને આધીન છે।
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 તે હરિ ગુણ ગાવો રે।
હે તે હરિ ગુણ ગાવો રે।
એક વાર મોહન મારે મંદિરે આવો રે।
એક વાર મારે મંદિરે આવો રે।
મારે મંદિરે આવો મારા વાલા।
મારે મંદિરે આવો મારા વાલા।
revered Mataji, sisters, brothers, and loving children, we welcome you to this morning's Satsang. The little children may go to their classes. This morning, Ms. Payal Maharaj will speak on the importance of truth.
From untruth, lead me to truth. From darkness, lead me to light. From death, lead me to immortality. Om Namo Narayanaya, revered Mataji, respected elders and loving sisters and brothers. In the next few days, people worldwide will enthusiastically be celebrating the legacy of our beloved Lord Ram. Our speakers will thoroughly discuss stories about characters from the Ramayana and valuable lessons learned from the Sanskrit epic. The virtues of Sri Ram are countless, as he is often regarded as the ideal human being. Sri Ram is the epitome of Satya, a Sanskrit word loosely translated as being truthful in one's thoughts, speech, and actions. Truth and honesty are interrelated concepts. They are the foundation upon which human relationships are built and maintained. Without honesty, there can be no trust. Without trust, the concept of faith becomes far-fetched. Truthfulness is one of the most essential ethical values for those treading the spiritual path. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "We cannot realize Rama by reading the Ramayana, Krishna by reading the Gita, Allah by reading the Quran, or Christ by reading the Bible. The only means of realizing them is by developing a pure and noble character. Character is based on virtuous action, and virtuous action is grounded on truth. Truth is the source and foundation of all good and great things." Although most people know what telling the truth is, its importance can be overlooked. It can be taken for granted that everyone is honest in whatever they say, do, or think. However, if one were to evaluate their daily behavior, whether we live honestly, consistently, is questionable. Many believe that simply telling the truth is enough to be considered honest. However, truth-telling is both an act and a quality. One can be telling the truth, but not necessarily be an honest person. Shuddhiram, Sri Ramakrishna's father, was an extremely honest person. Once, Shuddhiram was called upon by his landlord to give false evidence in support of a case that the latter had brought against one of his other tenants. However, Shuddhiram was so fearless in his integrity that he refused to deviate even an inch from the path of truth. His blunt refusal to comply with the landlord's request resulted in heavy persecution against him. He had to leave his ancestral house for good. Penniless and homeless, Shuddhiram made his way to a new home in a neighboring village called Kamarpakur. Through the generosity of one of his friends, he got half an acre of very fertile land, which supplied the simple needs of his family. It is because of the truthfulness and sterling behavior of Shuddhiram and his wife Chandramani Devi that an incarnation of God in the form of the Master was born in their home. Like his father, the Master was so genuine that, amazingly, whatever he said became true. An incident with Nag Mahashaya, a householder devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, illustrates this. About 5 days before the Master's passing, while speaking with some of his disciples, including Nag Mahashaya, he expressed his desire to eat an Indian gooseberry. However, by then the fruit was out of season. The present disciples told Sri Ramakrishna that it was useless to even look for it. But Nag Mahashaya said, "Since the master has said it, definitely somewhere it will be available. Whatever he says cannot be false." This was his firm belief. So without informing anybody, Nag Mahashaya left the room. For 3 days, he wandered without food or sleep, searching for the Indian gooseberry. At last, he found the fruit and brought it to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was so delighted and excited. He took the fruit personally from Nag Mahashaya and said, "What a beautiful gooseberry it is." Nag Mahashaya's unwavering faith in the master helped him succeed in the task he set out to do. Also, because it was already the truth once it left the master's lips, it became possible to fulfill this task. This power of making things become the truth can actually be manifested in everyone. The words you pass out into the universe can become a reality if you say them honestly and sincerely. We live in trying times. Nowadays, much of the world is battling corruption and moral degradation, which have taken firm root across all levels of society. No one really knows what to believe and in whom. Being truthful is a strength of one's character in the form of integrity. A primary example of this is our very own Swami Vivekananda. Once, Swamiji, known as Naren during his younger days, was talking to his classmates while his teacher was busy with the lesson. His friends were so engrossed in Naren's story that they ignored the teacher's words. Annoyed, the teacher asked the students to repeat what he had just said. None of them, except Naren, could answer. This was because of young Naren's remarkable ability to listen to his teacher while talking with his friends. The teacher then asked the students, "Who was whispering?" Everyone pointed their finger at Naren, but the teacher refused to believe it. To punish the students for lying, the teacher asked them, except Naren, to stand up on the bench. However, Naren also stood up on the bench alongside his classmates. When the teacher asked him to sit down, he said, "Sir, I was the one who was talking, so I should be the one to be punished." Naren could have escaped punishment as he had answered the teacher's questions correctly. However, he chose to tell the truth and accept the punishment. His mother, Bhuvaneshwari Devi, taught him to always speak the truth and not worry about the unpleasant consequences. Being honest and authentic to oneself and others, despite what the outcome might be, is an integral part of being a successful individual. Many young and even older people may choose to do the opposite of Naren and keep silent to avoid facing the consequences of their actions. It is essential to be reminded that while we may sometimes hide the truth from others, we cannot hide it from God. He is all-knowing, and He is watching us at all times. We may think we are too insignificant for such an all-powerful and great God to worry about us. Still, He is aware of every living thing in creation, from the tiniest blade of grass to the large mammals that roam the planet. We cannot escape His ever-watchful eye. He is sitting within each living being. He alone knows our true nature. Another important reason behind being truthful, even when we are afraid to be, is to ensure others will not take advantage of us in a vulnerable situation. Many devious individuals will use our weaknesses against us. As unfortunate as this may be, the only way to defeat such people is to strengthen one's mind and character against them. Once upon a time, a boy and his sister visited their grandparents at their farm. The boy would play with his slingshot out in the woods, but could never find a target to hit. One day, as he walked back to the house for lunch, he saw his grandmother's pet duck. Out of impulse, he let the slingshot fly, hitting and killing the duck. In a panic, the boy hid the dead duck in a pile of wood. However, without him realizing it, his sister had seen the entire incident from the bedroom window, but she said nothing, even when he got back to the house. The next day, the grandmother asked the sister to help wash the dishes. The young girl, not really wanting to do this task, said to her grandmother, "But Grandma, my brother told me he wanted to help you in the kitchen." Before the boy could protest, she whispered to her brother, "Remember the duck?" The boy became very nervous, realizing his sister knew about the duck. He knew that if he did not obey, she would tell his grandparents about what he had done, and he would get into a lot of trouble. So without complaint, he did the dishes. Later that day, the grandfather asked if the children wanted to go fishing. However, the grandmother said she needed the sister's help making supper. The young girl was very upset that she would not get to go fishing. But then she remembered the duck story. She smiled and said, "Well, my brother told me he wanted to help you with supper." She whispered again to her brother, "Remember the duck?" So the young girl went fishing, and the boy stayed behind to help his grandmother. After several days of the sister taking advantage of her brother, he could no longer stand it. He came to his grandmother and confessed that he had killed the duck. His grandmother knelt down, hugged him, and said, "My dear boy, I know. I was standing at the kitchen window and saw the whole thing. But because I love you, I forgave you. I wondered how long you would let your sister take advantage of you." We learn, therefore, that the consequences of not revealing the truth can be much worse than if we are just honest in the first place. Hence, we must always try to confess to our mistakes. Doing so will remove guilt from our hearts and minds while building our character into decent human beings. It may not be that we will always come across people as forgiving as the grandmother. However, we all make mistakes and should try to take responsibility for the error by seeking forgiveness and practicing good deeds. It is not always easy to follow the path of truth, especially today when there are many negative influences from family, friends, and even the external media. But it is a critical path to tread for the overall betterment of society. To conclude, I would like to recite the poem Reflections on Truth by Susie Kasem. Where you find truth is where you find your reflection, and where you find your reflection is where you find love, and where you find love is where you find light, and where you find light is where you find faith, and where you find faith is where you find purpose, and where you find purpose is where you find happiness, and where you find happiness is where you find truth. And when you find truth, that truth will set you free. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Om Namo Naranaya. Thank you, Payal. We will sing the Sri Ramakrishna Jaya Ashtakam, which is on page 155.
भय भंजन पुरुष निरंजन रतिपति रंजन कारी यति जन रंजन मनोमद कंदन हनुमान की जय, श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय.
Om Namo Narayana, dear sisters and brothers. Let us chant the 3 mantras to the Divine Mother, page 250. We pray to Mother to give us peace, to protect us, to bless everyone. Tomorrow, everybody is fearing about the strike and the unrest, so we pray. Oh, dear Mother, we are your children. We pray to you for protection, your grace, your blessings. And so we chant these 3 mantras.
सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते. नारायणी नमोस्तुते. सृष्टि स्थिति विनाशाय शक्तिभूते सनातने गुणाश्रये गुणमये नारायणी नमोस्तुते. नारायणी नमोस्तुते. शरणागत दीनार्त परित्राणपरायणे सर्वस्यार्ति हरे देवी नारायणी नमोस्तुते. नारायणी नमोस्तुते. ॐ श्री महाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती श्री दुर्गा माता की जय.
Om Namo Narayanaya. Let us meditate for a few moments. O Mother Divine, noted for your zeal in affording protection to the weak and the afflicted. O you, the dispeller of the miseries of all, to you, O Narayani, our salutations.
स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ओम तत्सत्।
जय श्री गुरु महाराज की
जय।
महामाई की
जय।
स्वामी जी महाराज की
जय।
गंगा मात की
जय।
महावीर स्वामी जी की जय। सर्व ऋषि मुनियों की जय। पार्वती